Lamar City Council regular meeting, August 16, 2022. Will you join me for the pledge to the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call, please.
Child?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Bruns?
Yes.
Now a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to welcome everybody to our city council meeting to start to our second meeting in August. So, those watching on TV and those all in attendance here today. To begin with, we have a hearing today. It's for the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC Overlay Project. At the August 2nd, 2022 meeting, the council set this as the date and time to hear public comments on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC Overlay Project. The project is a joint project with Plymouth County extending from 18th Street Southeast to C38. Schedule is August 16th, today as the public hearing. November 15th, 2022 as the bid letting through the Department of Transportation. December 6th, 2022, council award in 2023 construction. We have the Department of Transportation federal aid agreement for the project that also needs to be approved. I will open the meeting, open the hearing, and ask for written or oral objections or comments to the project. Is there anyone in our audience who would like to speak to this project? Anyone approaching the podium? Seeing none, I'm going to, time for receiving comments is closed. The administration recommends council approve the project and the agreement. The financial impact, STBG funds, is $625,600. Local road use tax funds, $286,132. Total estimate of $911,732. The estimate in 2020 was $782,000 when the application was submitted. Any comment from the council?
Are all the easements in place, Jason?
Two, well, right-of-way acquisition.
That's what I mean, right away,
Yeah,
excuse me.
two are signed. Everything is sent out. The other two, we have four total, so the other two have verbal yeses.
Okay.
Just waiting on them to sign the documents.
Okay.
So the plans and the agreement are due to the DOT today. So upon approval, either Pat or I will submit our needed documents to them. So.
Motion to approve resolution number 2231 on plan specification. Form of contract estimate cost for the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC Overlay Project. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Can I have a roll call, please?
Donlin?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Bruns?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yes. Motion to adopt resolution 2232 approving federal aid agreement for the Surface Transportation Block Grant Project 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC Overlay Project. Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 2232 approving the federal aid agreement for the Surface Transportation Block Grant. Can I have a roll call, please?
Donlin?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Bruns?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Motion carried. We'll move on to general discussion. Is there anyone in our audience that would like to approach the podium and speak to any items for city consideration. Remember, we cannot make any decisions today. Seeing none. Council, Mike. Any thumbs up award?
Since I wasn't sure I needed to be here, I don't have any thumbs up to bring up.
Okay. Thumbs up that you're here then.
You're very kind.
Brian?
Pass.
Clark?
I'm good, thank you.
And I have two today. Number one is for our community theater production of The Music Man. It was met with full houses throughout their performances, and it was outstanding. We have a real gem in that community theater, and we have a lot of people put in a lot of time and efforts to that. So thumbs up to them on their production. My second thumbs up, being a former teacher, I'm giving them all the administration, teachers and staff and students that are starting school a week from Wednesday. Thumbs up, good luck, do it well, keep them on the right path. So thumbs up to them. Mark?
Thumbs up to Northwest Bank and the improvements, renovations there. It looks really nice, and I'll go back later for a more intimate tour with Kevin, but it was nice. Good turnout today, too.
It was very nice. It changed that inside immensely.
I was hoping for some free samples, but they weren't handing out bags.
Handing out money today.
Go for popcorn.
Usually do.
Okay, we'll move on to consent items. All items listed under consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. We have 4. Approval of August 2nd, 2022 regular meeting minutes. 2, list of bills for period ending 8/12/22. 3, monthly financial statements for July 2022. Renewal of liquor license for Wise One, new cigarette permit, for Love's Travel Stop. Anybody want to speak to any of those? Then I would consider a motion.
So moved. Motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll move on to action items. First action item is request for rezoning for Majestic View Addition. At the August 2, 2022 meeting, the council held a public hearing and approved the first reading of ordinance number 973 regarding the proposed rezoning change of Majestic View Addition from R rural to R1 residential district. There were no public comments. This lot is at the west end of 22nd Street Southeast that was constructed as part of the Dogwood 3rd Addition. Recommendation is the administration recommends that the council approve the rezoning request. Comments from the council?
Motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 973 amending zoning districts.
Have it first, do we have a second?
Yes.
May I have a roll call on that, please?
Goodchild,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes?
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Motion to waive the third reading of ordinance number 973 amending zoning districts.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to waive the third reading of ordinance number 973. Can I have a roll call, please?
Goodchild,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes?
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance number 973 amending zoning districts on its second reading.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 973, amending zoning districts on its second reading. Can I have a roll call, please?
Goodchild,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Yes.
Donlin,
Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Item 2 is the 2022 Lamar's Alley Improvement Project Award of Contract. The council set this as the date to consider bid received for the 2022 Lamar's Alley Improvements Project. Bids were received and open August 15th at 10 a.m. Bids results will be available at the meeting. I hope everyone had time to take a look at those. Financial, the estimate cost of the project was $425,716 and will be funded by road use tax. Jason, anything on the bids that came in?
No, other than, we only received one bid. It was under the estimate. It's specialized concrete, so they're local in town, so. I would recommend, also I would recommend approval. Also, I gave you copies of Beck's engineering's letter of recommendation, so. And they don't anticipate starting till next spring, so.
And that figure was $383,310.86.
Yes.
Thanks.
So from here, if you approve, then I'll start working on, there'll need to be some agreements in place with some of the property owners because the option to do additional work was presented to them. Some are gonna do it, some won't. So we'll get agreements in place with those that do want it done. So then we'll do the work, Specialized will do the work through this contract, and they'll reimburse the city for those costs.
Any other questions?
Are there any, what are the work days on
It's just a final completion date.
this? So there's no work date, there's no like 30, 45 work days or something like that? It's just a start and stop, or?
Just a final completion date. Yeah, we did have, if any work was to be started this spring, that it would have to be completed by calendar year 2022.
You mean this fall, yeah?
Yeah, this fall.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But talking to Specialized, it sounded like this was gonna be a spring 2023 project. They were not gonna start this fall.
And I have all the confidence in the world in them, one of our locals. But I just, now I'm gonna start being pretty paranoid about some of this stuff with our airport, that I think we need to really be careful about not building in some sort of protection in this stuff. So I guess given who it is and whatnot, I'm good with it, but you know what I mean? I think we need to start putting some teeth in our penalties, so. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, then I would seek a motion.
Motion to adopt resolution number 22-33, awarding the contract for the 2022 Lamar's Alley Improvements Project to Specialized Concrete in the amount of $383,310.86.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the motion, resolution number 2233. Can I have a roll call, please?
Donlin?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Sturman?
Yes.
Bruns?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Item E3, Floodplain Management Ordinance. FEMA and the Iowa Department of Natural Resources have completed the process of updating flood hazard determinations for Plymouth County, which includes the City of Lamar's corporate limits, the flood insurance study, FIS, and the flood insurance rate map, FIRM, become effective on October 27, 2022. The City of Lamar is required to update our ordinance to reflect adoption of the FIS full report and the FIRM by the effective date. Attached is a copy of the updated Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 160, Floodplain Management. The FIS report and the FIRM report are available for review at City Hall. The administration recommends council proceed to a public hearing. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on August 9th, 2022 to review the changes. Planning and zoning recommendation will be available at the meeting, and the ordinance has been reviewed by the Iowa Department of Natural Resources.
Okay, so P and Z did approve. And the ordinance that you see in here, the bold and crossed out wording, all of that is wording that has been provided by DNR. It's their required wording. And then I gave you examples up there on the whiteboard up there. To the right, closest to you is what has been and is currently our maps. That was in 1978, very primitive, detailed map, which made it a little difficult at times to determine where properties are located. And then to the left is an example, is one sheet of the 9 new maps that entail our corporate limits. A lot easier. It's an actual aerial. So you can depict properties a lot better. So that's what we're going from, or that's what we have, and that's what we're going to. So,
Is there any way we can get an overlay of the old highlighted on the new, so we can see? If not, Jason, I don't wanna make it difficult, but this is just going to a hearing, correct?
yeah.
So in that time, could we get, just a sketch?
Yeah, I don't know where.
Because I run into this quite a bit.
What's different?
What's
Yeah.
different, what's fallen out, what is not, and it would be nice to see if we could have that. If you can't, you can't, okay?
I don't know where we would get that from, maybe FEMA.
I was gonna say, wouldn't
Or the
FEMA have
DNR
some?
would have it.
Yeah, wouldn't they have some? It'd be nice, if you can't, you can't, because this question comes up in real estate quite a bit. Who's in and who's out, so, and then.
It's a big effect on application for federal funds. For
Yeah, actually, well, I mean, I don't know, I can
Arizona,
find out, Clark. But if anybody has questions, they should be able to see on the new ones.
If they live there, they.
Whether they're in.
Right, because it has a big deal to do with insurance and, properties. Mark, you're back in there. Mark, you're back in
Yeah.
there, so I mean, well, if you can't, you can't. No big deal, it's just a question.
I would expect that since 1978, there's a lot better technology GPS wise to assess flood risks and what isn't and stuff like that. So it ought to be different, like more accurate.
I mean, there's bridges and culverts and all kinds of
Changed.
topography that's changed, so
Yeah.
it should be very favorable, I would hope, because I know this has been an ongoing, 1978 is a long time ago.
Yeah.
I graduated right there, so, I mean, that's a long time ago.
Holy cow.
You wanna take that old map, Clark?
We'll put it in my scrapbook, yeah, one thing to hang on my wall in the basement.
So I can find out, I can pose the question whether or not they have the ability to overlay the two. Some of the biggest difference I can see is, is this little arm that's coming out through here
Yeah.
is no longer there.
Where is that, Jason?
Well, Kemp sits on this corner,
Okay, so it's
so
that,
this is 12th Street.
okay, down by that McDonald's
So
back in
Kemp's,
there.
Kemp's is there, this gets back, what's not depicted on here is Prospect Street.
Kingsley State Bank.
So, the red sheds, so.
Right.
In that area, there's that drainage ditch that goes back into there. That's been taken out. That's the obvious one. Another obvious one is, back when this map happened, North Greenview subdivision wasn't there. A lot of work has been done to build up that area, so that's no longer in the floodplain.
Looks like there's some major changes down there in the, what would be the industrial, which would be the bottom left-hand corner of the old versus the new. Looks like A lot's been removed.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where I get into, it was hard to depict sometimes because the southern, street on this map is 12. You know, we've had a lot of development.
It was, man.
South, so,
It's been huge.
um,
All right, okay. Motion to establish September 6th, 2022 at 12 p.m. as a public hearing to amend Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 160 Flood Management.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second to establish September 6, 2022 at 12 o'clock as a public hearing to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinance, Chapter 160 Flood Management. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4. Wastewater Improvements 2022 Ultraviolet Disinfection Award of Contract. At the July 5th, 2022 meeting, the council set this as the date to consider the bids received for the Wastewater Improvements 2022 Ultraviolet Disinfection Project. Bids were received and opened on August 4th at 2 o'clock. Attached are the bid results and a letter of recommendation from Bolton and Mink. The administration recommends council accept and award to Christensen Construction Company. Any questions for anyone on this?
Greg, what can you tell us about this?
The bids came in above our estimate, and it's been happening a lot, bids coming above estimate. The primary, we reviewed this with the bidder on where the costs were in the project, and the biggest item that accounted for about 80% of the difference was in the cost and installation of large diameter pipe. And this project involves a 30-inch diameter pipeline that goes from the treatment plant out to the river. That's a new outfall line that will be used, of course, long-term with the long-term wastewater improvements. Our opinion is that it's a fair bid. This contractor is, we know, looking for work. It's a good contractor that has done work here in Lamar's previously on the wastewater treatment facility.